I got to witness Cillian's journey in segments as I was coming in to kind of play your antagonist, and it was bananas.
Were you able to pick through all the nuance on that first read?
The extraordinary thing about the script was it's written in the first person, right? Which is the first time I'd ever encountered that. So you realize then this is something different.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Celebrity Expert, your #1 source for all things TV shows and celebrities. And in today's video, we're gonna look at Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. being obsessed with each other.
Seeing how Cillian had embodied this character to the point where you go like, I feel like I'm practically with the guy. You can't help but feel a little bit iced out by it. Now, Cillian is so warm and nice and inviting, but then we'd roll, and I'd feel like he was looking through me like I didn't exist. And I was like, that sucks. And I can only imagine there was a lot of people who felt that way.
Before we begin with this video, here's a quick and an easy question for you all. Can you all tell us, when did the movie Oppenheimer release? If you know the right answer, let us know in the comment section down below, or stick to the end of the video, which is when I'm going to reveal the answer to this question.
We were all in New Mexico like eating quesadillas, and he was like in his room eating an almond.
By the way, he declined every dinner invitation for the entire film. We invited him to dinner every night. He never came once.
I mean, that's a commitment to craft, though. It's a commitment.
The only thing Chris would do by text is his daily calorie count.
Oh my God.
Robert Downey Jr. says he has never witnessed a greater sacrifice by a lead actor than his Oppenheimer co-star Cillian Murphy.
Murphy was on the inside because he was kind of, they're all thick as thieves. And I think for Emily, and I'll speak for myself, it was this real kind of intimidation factor. And then once you're there and doing it, arguably one of the least judgmental directors I've ever experienced.
True.
So it's not about control, it's about precision. And so it really kind of created a whole new neuro pathway in my mind.
Cillian Murphy stars as J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, in the Christopher Nolan-directed 3-hour blockbuster. The film looks back at the development of the bomb, which was later dropped on both Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, bringing an end to World War II.
I've never in my whole life seen someone do what you did. And I think we would all attest to it.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
God,
Yeah.
Irish people can't take praise.
Let it in.
I know. He just wants to go completely in. He just turned to dust, if you're wondering where he went.
For his part, Robert Downey Jr. 58 plays Lewis Strauss, chairman of Atomic Energy Commission. I have never witnessed a greater sacrifice by a lead actor in my career, he told People of Murphy's performance.
I was like, hey, last night, he goes, last night I came back to my $18 a night hotel room and they put my fucking bags in the hallway. I was like, fuck, I haven't checked out yet. I have to sleep. Every indignity that could befall someone who's trying to do something, it was like the tears of Job. Forget the call sheet and the job, it was everything else.
We'd be like, hey, we got a 3-day weekend, maybe we'll go antiquing in Santa Fe. What are you going to do? Oh, I have to learn 30,000 words of Dutch. Have a nice time, but that's the nature of the ask. Elsewhere, co-star Florence Pugh, 27, who stars as Jean Tatlock, one of Oppenheimer's significant love interests in the film, echoed Robert Downey.
It was an heroic effort watching you play this guy, man.
Well, I think you're very kind. No, I think that I guess I get embarrassed. There were, when we were shooting in New Mexico, there was a lot of the guys were like Emily and Matt, and we were kind of living together. I think they were hanging out. I was in the bath learning lines.
Yeah, studying very, very hard. They were off gallivanting and you were...
Well, he's like, I'd love to party, but I have to learn a lecture in Dutch.
Yeah.
Murphy's commitment to the role included following a very restrictive diet to closer resemble Oppenheimer. According to co-star Emily Blunt, who's 40, who played Oppenheimer's wife Kitty in the film, Murphy achieved the look by scarily consuming food.
I think when you get on the floor with actors like these guys and with Chris, you kind of just put that aside, and it all becomes kind of about the moment and the truth and the emotion between the actors, and that was just every day. It was a gift. I can't give you one specific point, but there was many scenes in the film, like with Robert and with Emily and with Matt, like they were just kind of electric. You could kind of feel it fizzing.
Robert Downey Jr. sang Cillian Murphy's praises for his take on J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. In a conversation with People magazine, the Iron Man actor who plays former Atomic Energy Commission Chairman Louis Strauss in the film explained he was impressed with Murphy's commitment to the role.
An empty panel board.
Yeah. Yeah.
One picture.
Yeah.
I
was like, cigarette.
This is it.
Oh, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
Except then again, we're not on the board yet. And our pictures have to go up. So it was this weird thing of, again, not intimidation of like that self-centered actor ego fear, but more like rising to an occasion.
Yeah.
You go like, oh wow, like I hate to use the I word, but you're like, this is important.
The Sherlock Holmes stars shared that the cast would go and do things together when they had a break in production, but Murphy often passed on joining so he could keep working.
And there was a picture of Cillian that was kind of one of the first released with the hat, and then I was like, wow, dude, like, all right, he's clearly arrived in the character. I better find one. And then by the time Chris put I think it was a 70 mil test print on the wall, and then I was there, and then Sister Bear, and then it was kind of like the story was happening because he was demonstrating it's going to look like this and feel like this, and you go, wow.
In a previous conversation with The Hollywood Reporter, Nolan revealed he knew almost immediately that he wanted Murphy to portray the physicist in Oppenheimer, which is based on the triumph and tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer.
It's very interesting, the relationship. It's very, very complex. And they kind of dance around each other all the time, and that was the pleasure of working with Robert. I remember I said to you, it felt at times a bit like kind of jazz when we were just acting up. It was kind of, it was buzzy. There was this kind of vibrations.
The world will remember this day.
The Oscar-winning director called the actor while he was at home in Ireland and offered him the role of a lifetime. He's just so understated and matter-of-fact and British, Murphy said of Nolan. It was like, Cillian, look, I have a script, it's Oppenheimer, and I'd like you to play Oppenheimer. That was it.
Right before we started shooting, I saw this photograph that Chris had said, yeah, I think Cillian's got it. And I looked and I was like, that's Oppenheimer. And then I was like, damn it, I better get my act together now.
What's the nature of the device they detonated?
Data indicates it may have been a plutonium implosion device.
Like the one you built at Los Alamos.
As far as Christopher Nolan films go, Oppenheimer has one of the most expansive ensembles yet. In the lead role of J. Robert Oppenheimer's Cillian Murphy, the Peaky Blinders alum that find himself flanked by Emily Blunt, Matt Damon and Robert Downey Jr. among many others. In fact, the latter churns out a mind-blowingly good performance as late Atomic Energy Commission Chairman Louis Strauss.
And in addition to playing this behemoth of a role, you hosted the experience for everyone. Anytime someone was coming in just to do a day, you'd be there, as stressed out as you might have been. Next thing you had to do was a bugger, and yet you always took the time. I felt like you and Chris made me feel welcome and safe right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do when you're under duress.
In the real life, Strauss and Oppenheimer had the relationship with the former distrusting Oppenheimer because of his alleged communist ties. At one point, Strauss even lobbied a then president to revoke Oppenheimer's security clearance.
What I saw was the struggle within you every day to give yourself permission to play someone so completely different from you, in that you're very engaging and very conscious and very polite and very thoughtful. And this guy is in his own world. So I think the first time you just have to let your scene partners know, hey, it's not that I don't like you and I don't care about you. Clearly, it's the character I'm doing.
Like many you have seen, Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. was floored with Cillian Murphy's transformative performance as J. Oppenheimer, the American physicist who led the US effort to create an atomic bomb during World War II.
Now, Cillian is so warm and nice and inviting, but then we'd roll, and I'd feel like he was looking through me like I didn't exist. And I was like, that sucks. And I can only imagine there was a lot of people who felt that way. Louis Strauss was in a position to do something about it. I don't know how culpable he was for that, but it is a story of how small imagined slights between important people can have big impact.
Cillian Murphy's co-star Emily Blunt, who plays his on-screen wife Kitty Oppenheimer, recently told Extra he had such a monumental undertaking and he could only eat like an almond every day. He was so emaciated. The Irish actor addressed his dramatic weight loss for the role during a recent interview with IndieWire, stressing, "I don't advise it."
How IMAX is even experienced, obviously, are taken to this next level by Chris Nolan and co. But also just to see whether it's the Trinity test site or extreme close-up of Cillian as Oppenheimer, you're just like, you feel like you're standing next to something that's really happening in history.
Alright guys, so the answer to the question I asked you at the beginning of the video is July 21st. If you got this answer right, then you are a huge fan of the movie Oppenheimer.
I fancy myself a bit of a student of this period in time. I thought it was great the way that Chris chose expertly to cast this guy. It's literally a generation-defining performance. And it's crazy too that you took all those swings at doing other projects with him and they all kind of come together in this one big partnership.
Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you all really enjoyed this one. If you did, do like, share and comment on this video, and do not forget to subscribe to the Celebrity Expert, and we'll see you around next time with another brand new video. Till then, keep watching the Celebrity Expert. Bye guys.